Hello Freedom Seekers, Jeremy Chambers, Independence Acres Homestead. It's been a little while since we shared a video, but it's about time we came on, gave you guys a quick tour of our garden, and showed you what's going on here with the critters. Well, we're going to start today's tour in the garden. So our normal garden plot is over here, and this year it has 3 pigs in it. If you're wondering what kind we got, where we got them from, and why we got them, check out the previous video where we talked about the pigs. And this was our garden expansion last year, but this is our main garden this year. So there's a few things that we've done in order to just kind of change things up a little bit. So first of all, these 2 beds here were our garlic beds for the year. And garlic season is over. About a week and a half ago, we pulled all of the garlic out of these beds. It's over on the patio on some racks, curing, and we're just waiting for that to finish up. But we decided to succession plant this with green beans. And with these beds, we're trying to make it a very high intensity planting, high intensity gardening. We have rows of bush beans here in the front, and then across the back here are runner beans. So we've got a 16-foot arch here. It should get all the way to the top here. We will have 8 feet of bean vines if all goes according to plan. But we've got 2 beds here, and we've got Blue Lake bush. These are scarlet red runner beans from M.I. Gardener, and we've got some kind of bush bean over here from M.I. Gardener. Let me check real quick. I forgot what it is. Oh, these are not scarlet runner. These are the red noodle bean. But they said that the vine should get to be about 8 feet long. So here is, oh, this is the dragon tongue bean from Baker Creek. So we like these beans. We had them a lot last year. Such good fresh eating beans, but they're also good, just a quick saute. A little bit of butter and garlic, and mwah, delicious. All right, so from the bean beds, and we're gonna start going down here, we have some Copenhagen market cabbage here. We got it planted a little late, so not quite ready to harvest. And with the weather the way it's been here in Michigan, hot, rainy, hot, rainy, hot, rainy, this really hasn't grown the way we expected. But it looks like we're going to get a few heads of cabbage here. Next row here, these are Lesia peppers. If you remember, these are my favorite peppers from last year. And these were actually plants that we dug up and overwintered in the basement, and we put them back out here. We've already had a good amount of peppers off of them, but we've got some more to go. Next row is, what did I put here?
Tomatoes?
Yeah, it's tomatoes. I forgot what variety. I completely forgot what variety. Josh, you remember what variety these are?
Nope.
Oh, I remember. These are the Geranium Kiss, also from M.I. Gardener. Very small, compact, determinate plant. But if you look right here, it's going to be prolific once we start getting fruit. Lots of flowers here. All right, see that? Ooh, yeah, lots of flowers. And it's just a very pretty, very dark green, very lush bush. I'm going to get in here and prune this out a little bit over the next couple weeks, just so we can open up the air so that we can get, the pollinators will be able to see those flowers and get stuff pollinated. Oh, the next bed here is one of our pollinator beds, and herb beds. Our lavender, it's growing really well, and it's doing its job to attract pollinators. Look at that, we got a little bee there, got some bees right here on the lavender. Of course, these are just good old bumblebees. But hey, at this point, pollinators are pollinators. We're happy to see them in here. Okay, these next 2 rows are slightly overgrown tomato plants. I've got some Cherokee purples and some pineapple. More pineapple back here, and you can see this plant's looking a little sad right here. We've got 2 Romas. Need to prune them, but just haven't got to it with the rain and the hot weather. Next row is, we've got onions. We've got some turnips growing over there, but I'm going to have to pull that bed, clean that bed up a little bit. We've got some borage here for our pollinators. Beets. So over here in this corner is one of our onion beds, and then another one and another one. And as you can see, we've got some weeds here. They're getting ahead of us because every time we turn around, it's raining. When I want to come out in the garden and do some work, it's raining or it's 95 degrees and 100% humidity. We're gonna work on getting this cleaned up a little bit this weekend. Next is our potato beds, and they look terrible. I honestly think we lost all of our potatoes this year because it's just been so rainy, and so these have just, I think all the potatoes just rotted in the ground. I'm gonna dig them up here and see a little bit, but I know we also had some fungus growing on the plants themselves, so they look kind of sad. Chamomile bed, it's already grown. We've had a couple harvests out of it this year. And then our calendula bed, we've got a lot of flowers that are getting ready to bud. We've already harvested probably a pound of flowers out of here in order to dry them out and have them available. And then you can see we've got some going to seed here, and this is so we can reseed this bed and have another year of calendula without having to do any work. This year we did absolutely no work. I didn't do any planting here. All we did was weed this bed as the seedlings were growing, and they're doing great. And after the calendula, the next two beds are yellow squash. At first I didn't think we were going to get anything from our yellow squash at all because we had tons of female flowers but not a single male flower, and so nothing was getting pollinated and the little fruit was just rotting off. But we finally got some male flowers in. Now we got an overrun of male flowers and we're going to be good. Here's another small bed of tomatoes, some different varieties that we're trying. Wisconsin 55, some 42 days. So this bed here is basically just a test bed to see if we like any of these varieties so that we know what to focus on growing next year. All right, now this is where the garden's shining this year, and that is these 4 beds here. These are beds that I made, I don't know if you remember or not, but when I bought all of the metal to build the sheep shed, I got more than enough metal. I bought, for $100, I probably got like 140 linear feet of sheet metal. So I got enough for the sheep shed, and then I still have a lot of this corrugated sheet metal left over, and it was already in 6-foot sections. So I split them in half and then split them in half again to make some of these beds. So these beds are 6 feet long and 3 feet wide. Filled them up with flowers. Over here we've got our echinacea, bee balm. So this is really a pollinator bed right here. And in with these marigolds here, we've got our peppers, our jalapeno, big Jims, Joe Parkers, and nadapenos. So that way we get a good mix here. And all of these flowers are pulling in the pollinators so that all of our peppers are getting pollinated. Let me just show you how pretty these things are. The echinacea coneflower is absolutely stunning this year. The heads, man, they're just so beautiful. These reds and oranges, absolutely gorgeous. All right, so here's a little look into how we're making these beds also. So not only do I have the sheet metal, it's 2 feet, 18 inches tall, 6 feet long, but we're also using greenwood logs that we've harvested here on the property, cutting them at 2 feet in length, and then I'm cutting a right angle out of them with the chainsaw, and we're using these as our corner posts for all of our beds. These ones are some birch. This is river birch here, so we've got a nice mix of different woods that we're using, and the plan is to put one more right here where I'm standing, one more right over there, and then maybe a couple more leading all the way up to the driveway here. Okay, so what we have in these 2 beds, I bought some honeyberry bushes this year, and I wanted to elevate them just to make sure they're getting the right drainage, and we're able to tune the soil just a little bit better to get the best production out of the honeyberries. So those are kind of in here. They're smaller plants in here, but we got some turnips over here along with some more flowers to attract pollinators. This is also our first year growing eggplant. This is a white eggplant variety. Really excited about those. And then once again over here, same thing, honeyberry bushes and just a ton of marigolds, just to kind of deter the bad things and attract the good things. And just so you know, I am really proud of these beds, about how good they look and how well everything is growing in these beds. So if I show them in later videos and I brag a little bit, it is what it is. Now we do have some trouble here in our garden, and that is we are dealing with this nasty plant. It is a bindweed, and it is just growing everywhere. So there's two things that are bad about this. Number one, it's invasive, and number two, it just grows. So this bindweed, it grows everywhere. One little bit of it in your soil and it grows, it expands, and it's just gonna take over wherever it's at. So I've been coming in here once a week and I've been burning it back with our weed torch, hoping that we can just keep killing off the green and it will rob the roots of the nutrition that it needs to grow. Maybe it'll die off, but I don't know. I'm kind of losing the battle with it right now, but we're gonna keep going on it. So these guys have done an amazing job in taking our weed-infested garden and turning it into dirt again. We posted a couple videos on our YouTube, some shorts showing you exactly what it was we were dealing with and how well the pigs have taken care of it. But they've done a great job. So the pigs have done such a great job that we're even at the point now where we're having to grab weeds from other parts of the property and bring it over to them. We've got a lot of lamb's quarter growing in our compost pile, and this whole weekend we're gonna just be pulling it and taking it over to the pigs so they have a little bit more food to eat. And last but not least, we've got the sheepies here. I tell you what, these guys have been a joy to have on the property this year. They have really warmed up to us to the point where I can just about get them on a halter. But the two we're really concerned about halter training is this young lady right here. We finally have names for him. Our spot face here, that's Maraid. The red face here, that's Una. And this is our ram, and his name is Aruri. Yeah, that's it. Those are the three that we named because, well, those are going to be sticking around a little while longer. But these two here, these guys here, this is actually our friendliest lamb this year. This is Chop right here, the white one, and the red one right here, red and gray face. That's Racco. I'll let you figure out from there how to finish those names. One has lamb in front and one has lamb after. They've been great. They've been doing a great job knocking down all of the pasture here and making sure that I don't have to mow so much. So they're doing their job. We've got one more place to move them over here. Let's see, probably tomorrow we'll move them, and then they're gonna get moved all the way back up by the house at the end of this week in order to make sure that we keep that pasture rotation. And pasture rotation is so important for the health of our pasture, also for the health of our sheep. And no homestead tour would be complete this year without talking about our beehives. Well, beehive, singular. These guys have just been a lot of fun to have here on the property. We wanted them for two reasons. Number one, we needed more pollinators in our area. So when the swarm showed up earlier, we were excited to capture them and to have them available here on our property. And the second reason we're really excited to have them is it's going to be really nice to have another source of sweetness here on the property besides our maple syrup in the spring. And then the plan is next year we'll be able to harvest honey in the fall. So been a great addition, been a lot of fun, been a big learning experience for us, and hopefully we'll have some more videos about them. Maybe record a hive check a little later on in the summer here, in summer and fall. But we probably won't get any honey this year, but that's okay. Well, the pigs and I thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate you taking the time to share this tour with us. We're going to really try hard to get some more videos out and make sure that we can keep you guys updated with what's going on here on the homestead. Well, I've got to head on over to the grill, get dinner started. Until next time, God bless.